So, Shukal students, well, let's have another lecture in physics. Uh, Students, we have already seen the physical nature of matter. Number one, that matter is made up of certain particles. We have discussed in details that every matter is made up of certain particles and they differ in number one shape, as we have seen in case of diamond and graphite. The structure is different. They're different in size, like you are having elements. Some elements are having low atomic number. Atomic number means number of protons. Some elements like uranium, plutonium, they are heavy metals. They have high atomic number. Their nucleus is bigger. Shape, size, as well as nature. You see, some elements are lustrous, some elements are gaseous, like hydrogen, chlorine. Some elements like mercury, they are lustrous. They also can flow. So very strange. Number one characteristic, physical characteristics of the matter we have seen that they are constituted of particles. And number two, we have seen that these particles are very tiny that they cannot be seen with the naked eye. Now, students, because of the variation in these particles, because of variation means changes in particles, in these particles, the three states of the matter exist. And what are these three states? Everybody knows. These three states are solid, liquid, and gas. All right. Now, the question is, can the can the matter exist in all the three states, and can the matter be converted from one state to other state? Yes, it is possible. You see the example of water, students. The water is existing in liquid state, which we drink. It's existing in gaseous state, the vapor. When your mother is making tea, you have the vapor, the steam. It is also existing in solid state in terms of anyone. Water is
Ice.
correct. Beautiful.
Ice.
Ice at 0 degrees centigrade or at lower temperature. You see, we are we can see water in form of ice. If you even take example of iron, iron normally we see in the liquid state, but students, where the process of converting iron into rods and other sheets is taking place, like companies like Tata or Gale or Sale, where steel is made from from iron. So there you will see, students, the iron is melted at a very high temperature, something like maybe 1400 degrees centigrade or so. Then it comes in liquid state also. Now the question is, how one state of matter, for example, like I've just told you that iron is normally at room temperature existing in solid state, right? But at 1400 degrees centigrade, it is available in liquid state also. So the question is how the state of matter can be changed from one state to other state. So anyone can answer? Can I expect the answer from Tanishbir Kaur? How the state of matter can be changed? Change in state. Yes. Mansimrat, how the change can happen in the state of matter? Yes, Mansimrat.
Sir, one we can increase or decrease the temperature.
Number two, we can increase or decrease
Like
the
increase
pressure.
pressure.
So now, as far as temperature is concerned, we are going to discuss today how temperature affects the change in the state of matter. All right. So students, now we that our subtopic is interconversion of state of matter. Interconversion of state of matter. Okay. So students, the phenomenon of change of matter from one state to another and back to the original state by altering the conditions of temperature and pressure. Two things, temperature and pressure, is known as interconversion of states of matter. So as we have seen, it is possible either by changing temperature or by changing the pressure. Okay, so there are so many terms involved in this change of state. Number one is fusion. The fusion is also known as melting. Okay, so you have seen the ice at 0 degrees centigrade, right? Imagine in a container you are having ice. This is a chunk of ice at 0 degrees centigrade. You start heating it with a burner. So what will happen? Slowly, the solid state of matter converts into liquid state. And very interesting thing, students, as long as the change in the state happens, very interesting thing, from solid to liquid, the temperature of the ice or corresponding water remains same. As long as the complete ice has not been converted to liquid, the temperature remains same. That's very interesting to know. All right. So basically, what is fusion or melting? Fusion or melting is same. That is the converting the matter from solid state to liquid state is known. So, all right. Now, the definite temperature, the temperature at which this change of state happens, this temperature is known as melting point, melting point, all right, of that solid, of that solid. For example, students, what is the melting point of ice? Can ice melt at minus 10 degrees centigrade? Anyone?
No.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Can ice melt at 0 degrees centigrade?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it
Yes, sir.
will provide heat at 0 degrees centigrade. Very interesting, students. Temperature will remain constant. All right. So this is also known as constant temperature, constant temperature process. What? Because we have seen, as long as the even last piece of ice was not converted to liquid, the temperature remained 0 degrees centigrade. Now one question is there, we are supplying heat to the ice, where this heat has gone, because temperature is constant. You see that if your mother is making roti on the tawa, this is the tawa, your mother puts roti on this. So what happens? Initially the temperature of the atta is less. As the burner is supplying heat, the temperature of this roti becomes more and more. And if you allow temperature to become more and more, it will become burnt. It won't be suitable for your eating. All right. So the heat is supplied, temperature is increasing. But the interesting question, when heat is supplied to ice, where the heat has gone? This will be taken in the next lecture. But one thing we have understood, that melting is a constant temperature process. Now, some substances, students, they are having very high melting point. What does that mean? Very high melting point means the temperature at which they will be converted from solid to liquid is very high. For example, iron. So what we learn from this? What we learn from this, we know that the matter is made up of particles, and these particles are having very strong intermolecular forces, very strong, so their melting point is very high. All right, so now we have seen that the substances like iron, okay, they will melt at a very high temperature. So what we learn about their about their molecular nature or atomic nature, that means every particle is bonded together. Students, bonded together doesn't mean there is a rope or there is a resi which is bonding them. The attraction between these two particles, there is nothing, there is no rope which is bonding them. The attraction between the particles is known as bond, right? We use this bond between mother and father, between mother and son also, that we say, oh, there is a very strong bond between mother and son, or there is a very strong bond between teacher and the student. Sometimes the bond is not strong, so the transfer of knowledge will not be there. This bond, if it is very strong, the melting point of that substance will be very, very high. Especially students, can you imagine any substance around you whose melting point is very high? What about namak? What is the chemical formula of namak, students? Anybody knows? Sodium chloride, NaCl. The bond between sodium and chloride is ionic bond, which we will learn later stages, that what is the meaning of ionic bond. There are some bond, covalent bond, ionic bond, so many bonds are there. Ionic bond is very strong, very, very strong. Na has given the electron to chlorine, chlorine has taken the electron, Na is happy, chlorine is happy. The octet of both the elements are complete. Very strong bond. And the melting point of namak is very, very high. I don't know exactly, but you can search, it will be very high. So this is what we learn from what? Change in the state, especially fusion and melting. All right, students. Now we go for opposite of melting. What is that? Anyone? What is opposite of melting? Guys,
Boiling.
boiling. All right. Boiling, or we say boiling point. What is boiling point? Boiling point is the definite temperature. It's a definite temperature at which the liquid starts getting converted to which state? Come on, students.
Yes.
Come on. Beautiful. The liquid starts getting converted to gaseous state. All right. That's just beautiful. So now we take some container and we take some water in this. All right, like you know uh, if you are in Punjab, especially Madhya Pradesh, UP, I'm going to say the areas which are known as plain areas. Plain areas means the areas whose altitude means the height of those areas above the sea level is very less. Again, I'm telling you, I'm talking about this experiment being conducted in those areas which altitude is very less. Like Punjab, altitude is very less, Madhya Pradesh, UP. But if you go to Himachal, if you go to Kinnaur, if you go to the top of Kanchenjunga or Mount Everest, the altitude is very high. I'm not asking you to do this experiment there. Okay, then if you do this experiment, you give some heat to this by burner, switching on the burner, what will happen? Let's say the temperature is 10 degrees centigrade. Slowly it will become 50 degrees centigrade, and then it will become 90 degrees centigrade. And then, students, as you are supplying more and more heat, the temperature is also increasing. But again, interesting thing happens at 100 degrees centigrade in plain areas. I'm repeating it. You might wonder why I'm talking about this. I'll tell you. Very interesting. In plain areas at 100 degrees centigrade, yes, any student can tell me what will happen. The bubble formation starts at the bottom. The bubble formation was there before also, but the bubble formation will become extensively more at 100 degrees centigrade, and you will hear the sound like bud 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 bud. So that what process has started. The boiling
Boiling.
has started. At which
Boiling.
temperature it started? 100 degrees centigrade. All right, that's beautiful. So now what is happening? The liquid has started getting converted to gaseous state. Okay, now from 10 degrees centigrade to 90 degree or 100 degrees centigrade, as you were supplying more and more heat, you were seeing the direct outcome of this. The temperature of the water was increasing. What an interesting thing, students. Now, at 100 degrees centigrade, the temperature suddenly becomes constant. Temperature does not rise. Why? Where this heat is going? That's really a great observation which we observed during melting also. In melting also we observed when we were when the state change was happening, or we also say phase change. Some books will also call it phase change, or you say change of state is same. Here the phase change was from solid to liquid. Temperature was constant. We don't know where this heat is going. Very strange. And now the liquid is getting converted to gaseous state, and again the temperature remains 100 degree. Now till what temperature remains 100 degrees centigrade? Till the last drop of water is converted to, you call it steam or you call it vapor. Well, normally we call steam, steam is at very very high temperature, so that is also vapor actually, but this will be, wet steam. But what we need for engineering purpose is dry steam, so but that we can call it steam, doesn't matter. So when till the entire drop of water is not converted to vapor. Interestingly, students, the temperature of this liquid will remain 100 degrees centigrade. I would be really happy if one of you do this experiment in your home. Is it true? Take a thermometer, or take a, not thermometer, some other, measuring device which can measure till 100 degrees centigrade. Keep giving heat, temperature will increase. Why? The the device will stop giving rise in temperature at 100. Where that heat is going, think about that. In next lecture we will cover that. Okay, so now we know what is boiling. The boiling has happened, the liquid has converted to vapor. Now the question is why I told plain areas. Students, if the same experiment is done in Shimla, or let's say still higher place than, let's say you are on the middle of Mount Everest, you are a mountain trekker, you are in the middle of Mount Everest, your height is very very high from sea level. Shimla, again your high is more. Suppose you heat the water, same 1 kg of water which you heat in Punjab, you start heating this water in Shimla. Students, can anyone answer whether the boiling point will be 100 degrees centigrade, whether it will be more or whether it will be less? Can any student answer? This is normally not given in textbooks, and this is full of curiosity. Why it happens? Any student? The temperature, the atmospheric pressure has decreased in Shimla. The atmospheric pressure has decreased.
More.
Can any student tell me whether the water will boil at 100 or more than 100 or less than 100? Students, I'm giving you a hint. In hilly areas, it is difficult to cook food. It's very difficult to cook food. The water there is also hard, and that's something that's chemical property. Forget about that. Any student can tell me whether boiling point will decrease or increase?
Sir, increase, I think.
Decrease.
Right.
Yes.
The answer is 100% wrong. you know as the atmospheric pressure goes down, interestingly, students, in Shimla, the water starts boiling not at 100 but maybe 85 or 90, like that. That is very strange. Why? So now you relate this thing to your pressure cooker. Physics is really strange if you learn it. I wish the teachers are teaching physics in an interesting manner to the people of Punjab, Afghanistan area, some areas where some people are addicted. If they know physics and maths, they will stop addiction, because this physics and maths is the biggest addiction. Okay, so guys, talk about pressure cooker. Now you have some rajma or some dal you're making in pressure cooker. If you make an open pan, you might take 1 or 2 hours. In pressure cooker, you might take 10-20 minutes, 2-3 whistles. All right, your rajma is ready. Now, what about the pressure of the air inside the cooker? Is it more or less? Inside the cooker, I'm talking. Cooker is totally isolated from atmosphere. There is a,
More.
yeah, it's more. Because we are not allowing the steam to go out. The atmospheric pressure is more. As the atmospheric pressure increases, so strange, the boiling point also increases. We talk about normal pressure cooker, its boiling point is around 115 degrees centigrade. And then there are very big pressure cookers used by army, like they want to make dal or rajma for 200, 300, 500 people. So very high pressure cookers, the atmospheric pressure is maybe 5 bar or 8 bar, the unit of atmospheric pressure. And then here the boiling point will be something like 150 degrees centigrade. I'm giving you a hint to understand. Students, more is the temperature, more will be the heat transferred from this water to the food. Less is the temperature, less will be heat transferred from water to the food. Actually, who is supplying heat to the food? The burner is not supplying. Burner is supplying heat to water. Water is getting heated. That water is supplying heat to your rajma or your food. So if your water is at higher temperature, and the pressure cooker, it will supply more heat to the rajma. Rajma will be cooked very fast. One more thing, students, you must have heard the injuries on the human body by boiling water can be healed, but the injuries by the dry steam, hot steam, can sometimes never be healed. If you have a gush of steam, attacking on your body, maybe at 200, 300 degrees centigrade, superheated steam, the cells will be completely dead. You might never get healed. Why? So these questions will be taking in the coming lectures also. So guys, this is all about boiling and boiling point. Hope you enjoyed. Let's go further. All right. Then, you know, third is sublimation. What is sublimation, guys? Hmm. So this is all related to change in the state of matter, changing from one phase, one state to another state. What is sublimation, guys? Now, the process of changing of solid directly into gaseous states. That's really surprising. Normally, we think solid will first change into liquid, then liquid will change into gas. But if you change solid directly to gas, without changing solid into liquid, this process is known as sublimation. All right. Direct change of gas,
Yeah.
direct change of gas. Normally, if you pressurize the gas, it will first become liquid and then it will become solid, right? Okay. But if you directly convert gas into solid, that is also sublimation. So how it is achieved is interesting. I will discuss later on. Direct change of gas to solid without changing into liquid is also this is direct. I'm sorry, students, I used the wrong terminology. Direct change of solid to gas is sublimation, but opposite, gas to solid is related to sublimation, but it's known as deposition. Deposition comes from the word deposit. Like the solid things are deposited on the bottom, we say deposition. All right. So you see that not every substance can undergo sublimation and deposition. There are substances like naphthalene, iodine, ammonium chloride, then camphor. You've seen camphor, particular smell. So these substances can undergo sublimation as well as deposition. All right. Then comes students yet another terminology, vaporization. So some people call it VAPOU, vaporization. Sometimes it's written as simple like this also. Doesn't matter. Sometimes they use Z instead of S. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter how's your pronunciation of English. It doesn't make you educated. How you understand the concepts, how the things are changing in nature, how the nature is responding to you. All right, how the nature is happy, how it's not happy, will make you person go deep into physics and mathematics. Okay, so what is vaporization, students? Now, the process of conversion of matter from the liquid state to the gaseous state, liquid state to gaseous state at a specific condition of temperature and pressure is known as vaporization. All right, students, you might get confused the difference between vaporization and boiling. So the water was boiling, you see, the water was boiling. This bubble formation from the bottom. You see that. Observe when your mother is making tea. Observe. Be a good observer. So, and students, one more thing. If sometimes if you put a scratch on the bottom of your container, try to do it. Don't worry. She'll scold you. No problem. You might become a scientist. Put some scratch on the bottom of your container where your mother is making tea. You will find this bubble formation increasing, and the heat transfer from bottom to the top will also increase. That's another strange phenomenon. More scratches on the bottom, more bubble formation because air will be trapped, and more bubble formation, better boiling, more heat transfer. Okay, so now guys, this is vaporization, and then comes freezing, or we call it freezing point. We call it freezing, or we call it freezing point. What is this? All right, so this is the best season to experience freezing in Punjab because now it's December, January. So people freeze, kulfi freeze, lot of things freezing. But then if you go to other countries, foreign, I think sometimes there are countries, 12 months they are freezing. It's cold climate there. Okay, so what is freezing? Process of conversion of matter from liquid state to solid state at a specific condition of temperature and pressure. Why I say this? Because you have seen when I talked about boiling, it's not only temperature, it is a pressure also, which is another variable which plays a very dominant role in deciding the boiling point. If the pressure is less, come on, students, can you answer now? The boiling point will be the atmospheric pressure.
Less.
Beautiful. If the pressure is more in a cooker, the boiling point will also be more. Oh, that's beautiful.
Mm.
So freezing is, I've told you freezing from liquid state to solid state. Okay. So freezing is the reverse of which process? Anyone can tell? It's the opposite or it's the reverse of which process?
Boiling.
Not boiling. In boiling, we are changing liquid to gas. See, this is liquid to solid. So what about solid to liquid? Liquid to
Melting.
freezing, correct. So solid to liquid, just reverse the arrow. This is melting, or we called it fusion. Remember? See here, we called it melting or fusion. See, fusion or melting. Better see this video again. All right, guys. Okay. So the last, okay, and then what is freezing point? What is freezing point? I might ask you these questions at 2 o'clock class. So at definite temperature, at which liquid changes into solid by giving out energy. See, students, when melting is going on, you know, the solid absorbs the energy. Am I right? Solid absorbs the energy,
Yes.
converts from solid to liquid. But here in freezing, very interesting, students, the liquid changes into solid state by giving out heat energy. Okay. And then this is, if it is happening at 1 atmospheric pressure, we call it freezing point. Okay. And the last is condensation. Condensation, very important if you want to understand and really enjoy how the state of all the matter is changing from one state to another state, then back. These terms are very important for you to understand. If you want to understand especially the change of matter in the light of physics, modern physics. What is condensation? Anybody knows? Yes, students, you see that when boiling was taking place, the water was getting converted into gaseous state. That process we called as vaporization. The opposite of vaporization. Here, liquid was getting converted into gas. The opposite process means gas is getting converted to liquid. The process of conversion of matter from the gaseous state to the liquid state at specific conditions of temperature and pressure. Both are important. If you talk about only one condition and other will change, this condensation point will change. So specific condition of temperature and pressure is known as condensation. So this is reverse of anyone? Gas to liquid is condensation.
Vaporization.
Correct. It is opposite of vaporization. Very good, students. Today we have seen the effect of no. We've just learned some terms, and tomorrow I'll be telling you other things. Wish you all the best. Have a nice time. Do subscribe our channel Learn CBSC. Wish you all the best.